Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. Again, this is being made on the fly because we're now getting lots of new information regarding Alice Guo, or should I say Guo Huaping of the Jingzhou city in Fujian province in China. So according to a documentary released by Al Jazeera, which is called Shezhijiang, Discarded Chinese Spy or Criminal Mastermind. It's a one-on-one niche documentary from Al Jazeera. They actually talk about Alice Guo, and in this part, which I will play here, shows Alice Guo has actually I'll show you the picture. Alice Guo has a residential address registered to Fujian province in the city of Quanzhou, and she was born in 1990, August 31st, as a member of citizen of China belonging to the Han ethnic group. And her real name is Guo Huaping. Okay, so this is not new information. This is old information. Actually, in fact, I'm very proud to say I once made an exclusive video on Alice Guo, and I was, 4 months ahead of this documentary in revealing her family clan ancestry, which she belongs to the Chaodai Guo clan. And they even have this ancestral hall, which actually is shown in this photo here, although this seems to be a different. This is not like the ancestral hall. This is just a residential front, which has the same, it just reads the Guo family. That's it. Okay, so according to this part here, which I have to kind of move the camera around. So this part here, it's a little blurry, but you can see where my mouse is. It does confirm that this is the exact city, Quanzhou city in Fujian province, which if I zoom out a little bit, it's actually quite close to Taiwan. So Taiwan is here. Kinmen is also part of Taiwan, which is here, and that little town is just off of the part of Kinmen Island, which is in Quanzhou City. And in fact, if I zoom in a little bit more, this is the area in which she is actually from, Jinzhen Township. Okay, so that's the area. So if I click on this, this is the actual place that Alice Guo, her family's from. Okay, now to talk about this, what we're basically saying is actually if there is potentially a tie between Alice Guo's family, the CCP, and her intended purpose to go to the Philippines. From what I understand, the Guo family is actually a very historical family dating all the way back to the Ming Dynasty, and they've been immigrating to the Philippines to, whether that's for better life or whatever the purpose is, for quite a while. So the Guo family, along with many members of the Fujianese clan, that is people from that province, they have been settling in the Philippines. So that part is not technically suspicious because they've been doing it for so long, even before the times of the CCP. But what is interesting is, according to this picture, which I'm going to have to kind of move this out of the way so you guys can see it, but take a look at what's up here. So here you got the CCP symbol, right? You got the CCP symbols, and then you have these four sort of word columns. So you got this one here, and then you have two on this side. So this one and this one, okay? So what these are, I'll explain it to you. The very first one, it means militia, or the militia department. The second one, this one to the left, is the residence committee. This one here, the one on the right, the first one, is the general departments of the CCP committee. And the last one is just some sort of affairs management or oversight department, okay? So none of these are actually core, or you could say very high up in terms of what they do in the CCP. For example, this residence committee, it's in every single corner of every single residential committee across the country in China. What their purpose is basically to settle family affairs, or like you have disputes between different families. It does some other special purposes. For example, if one member of your residence community is a criminal or is deemed a political dissident, right? This resident committee chair can go and find those people, rat them out, instead of protecting them to the police. So they work with a lot of the local sort of affairs, right? The very grassroots level of people. So the person in charge of the residence committee is the chair of the residence committee. It's often usually like an old grandma that they love to do this stuff for some reason. Like they got their Cultural Revolution like memories intact, so they love to do this stuff. But their main affair is actually residence affair. And the militia camp, which I find very interesting because I hadn't heard much about this until recent years, right? This one here. So it's the militia camp. That is basically part of the national mobilization program of the CCP. They're saying that anytime there's a war that would break out, you can mobilize the so-called militias back into the military. And so you suddenly have an increase of troop mobilization. So this seems to be the organizing committee to register people who were retired or veterans of the war, that they can go and come back through these offices to be registered, to be sent to the front lines in any case of a war. Now, when it comes to this one here, which is the general branch, right, of the Communist Party, this again is a very grassroots level, sort of down to the towns, down to the township, county level, even down to the street level, you could say, of control by the Chinese Communist Party. So from the very basic street level all the way up to the Central Committee, which is up in Beijing, every single level they correspond to controlling the people through the party organization apparatus. So one thing I will add about the General Branch Committee is that it's a party organization that oversees anything from, so this is a quote from the official Wikipedia in China, right? It's the party's battle fortress in the grassroots organizations of society and the foundation of all of the party's work and combat effectiveness. It's responsible for directly educating party members, managing party members, supervising party members, and organizing the masses, propagandizing the masses, rallying the masses, and serving the masses. If the number of party members is more than 50 but less than 100, there will be several branch committees. So this is basically the direct organizing committee that oversees the Communist Party's members within that particular area. So this tells us that there's more than just, regular folks who are in the community. There's Communist Party member officials within that community as well. And for them to have that, it means, because not everybody gets to become a CCP member, you got to remember that. And the last but not least, it seems to just be in affairs. So this picture doesn't tell us how extensive her connections are with the CCP, but it does tell us that this is likely a part of the Guo's family's obsession with being loyal to the party, okay? Because people that are involved in this, they could have also been approached. By the way, the Guo family seems to be a very well-respected family within the space of ethnic population or just, non-traditional population of China. So it's a very historical name to begin with. And if these people, they want to make a name for themselves or to continue their name, they need some level of achievement, right? And part of that could have been done through the likes of serving as the overseas liaison, such as what Alice Guo was doing for the CCP. So providing them with a ground for things like surveillance, money laundering, scams, extortions, etc., right? Or human trafficking in any case. So it's very possible what we know from this picture is not the whole story. It could be part of the story, but it's not the entirety of the story. This video came out this morning. This is a hearing from the House session in the Philippines Parliament. And I don't know, again, I don't read or I don't know Tagalog, so I don't really know what they're saying here, but let's take a listen.
Your Honor, I think it's better for you to ask him. Kasi siya po yung naglabas ng video, so siya po nakakaalam ano makakapag-benefit po sa kanya. Definitely, hindi po ako spy.
Okay. Relax ka lang. Bakit ka galit?
Kasi po, ganun din po yung nangyari last time. Sinasabi po nila spy ako. Mahal ko pong Pilipinas, Filipino po ako, hindi po ako spy.
So from what I can understand from the English words, it sounds like she's very angry at the fact that she's being accused of being a spy, except, there's clear evidence now from the Al Jazeera documentary that she has approached this spy, Shen Zhijiang, to ask for donations from them. And this spy, by the way, is from this documentary here, has a dossier that keeps the file of Alice Guo, along with some of the other basic information, such as her birth mother's name, Ling Wenyi. Okay, so it's very strange for her to get upset if she is truly innocent at the fact that she is apparently being accused of being a spy for the CCP, when in fact she has information being kept by another spy on her, which I find very, very interesting. again, we'll let the judicial process play out. But to me, at this point, I don't think that she is necessarily some high-level trained spy, but the work that she was doing is definitely something of an espionage in the Philippines.
Let me ask, Go Huaping, kilala mo ba si Xie Zhejiang? Yes or no?
Your Honor, yung si Jijan na sinasabi niyo po, yan po ba yung pinakita niyo po kanina sa akin sa picture?
Correct.
Hindi ko po siya kilala. At sana po, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, makuha ko rin po yung details. Gusto ko po magdemanda. Hindi ko po sila kilala.
Hindi natin madidemanda, Miss Alice, dahil kasi he's in jail in Thailand. And the reason why he's speaking the truth now is because, as he was saying that din in the video, although hindi lang pinakita dito, is that he is also being illegally detained daw, sabi niya. Kaya sa galit niya, he wants to speak also the truth out to the world, na iniipit na rin siya ng Chinese Ministry of State and Security. So, what does he have to lose? That's why nga sinabi nga niya sa inyo, Ms. Go Huaping, na tell the truth. Don't fall to the same mistakes that he has done. Kasi nga, he also fears for your life. Remember, nung Senate hearing, na you mentioned na you didn't want to name names because you feared for your life. And because of that, the Senate granted you security and asylum within the PNP's compound. Ngayon, na nag-executive session na kayo, sabi ng Senate na there was nothing to go about except for one name na hindi pa din namin alam. But if we look at it, there is no doubt, kitang-kita na. Hindi na galing mismo dito sa Quadcom, pero in an international company that whose job is to search for the truth worldwide.
Okay, so I just find it hilarious because now she's very defensive about this. And the point that I want to emphasize where things are kind of heading to is the inevitable end for anybody that does espionage work for China is that they will either disappear at the end of their, useful life cycle, or they are arrested by the foreign law enforcement, right? In this case, Alice Guo, or in the case of the Ministry of State Security spy, Xie Zhejiang, he's detained in Thailand. Either way, I think personally that it's better, the outcome for them is that it's better for them to be with the foreign law enforcement than it is for them to go back to China. Because clearly, when they go back, they will be disappeared one way or another. So I think at this point, Alice Guo just needs to tell the truth because I don't think the evidence is so stacked against her that at some point it's gonna just make her look really, 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 really bad. And a liar, that is, because she has not been telling the truth from the beginning. And what do you think this does to all the other Chinese people who are living in Philippines, right? Even her peers, who may not decide to do this for the CCP. Not everybody is bad like that, right? This is such an embarrassment because just for the greed of one family or the greed of one person or the power hungriness of one person that they decide to ruin it for everybody else. And I think it's a lesson for all that if you're a Chinese person, no matter where you are, we're having a lot of scandals in the United States as well, right? We had the former aide of the governor of New York. We had the former aide of the city mayor of New York. Both, in this case, were Chinese. That basically, were doing things on behalf of the Chinese government. They've now been investigated, indicted on charges. So this is a worldwide problem. That's why I made a video saying that there's Alice schools around the world, right? So let this be a lesson. I think that eventually we'll find the full details, and I hope she confesses to what she's been doing. Because, her name is one that it's very easily to be found on Chinese open source information, right? Recommend you guys watch the documentary on Al Jazeera. I'll put the link in the description. That'll be it for today. Thanks for watching this episode. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.